Can we beat 4.7? Jeez Louise. Jesus. And we've beat Audi's official time with a 4.48. We annihilated it. Yes guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're well and welcome to the Audi S3 Sportback in progressive red. We're going to be taking it out for a good drive, talking all things performance, looks, space, rivals, and of course the price. Let's get into it. So from this 2-litre 4-pot, we have 330 brake horsepower and 420 newton meters of torque going through this 7-speed. Does it feel fast? Definitely. Very little to no lag, which means in any gear, when you put your foot down, it just goes. And it definitely does that. And something that is quite cool, even though it's an S model, and I normally do like having the drive mode button on the steering wheel, within reach you've not got anything to touch. You do have to touch it, but it's not a touch button. It's a physical button called drive select, and when you press it you have 5 options: efficiency, comfort, auto, dynamic, and individual. And individual allows you to change every single parameter of the car, from your adaptive suspension stiffness to the throttle response to the steering feel, and also how the torque splitter works, and that's Audi's fancy name for how the LSD works between transferring power to the wheel that needs it the most. And I like to just put it in drive select and put it in dynamic, but if you go to dynamic plus, it slackens off the traction control, puts it in sport, and means that the car gets a bit more tail happy, probably in the wet, because in the dry, for this thing to step out, you probably don't like that little pink card you got when you were 18, or if you don't have one, the pink card you used to have. Because despite this not being the S3, being brutally honest, you don't really need more. It literally is a daily with enough fun for days like this. And boy is it fun. Now looking at this long-term memory in front of me, I can see I've covered 600 miles with an average of 30 mpg. Now if you want to be serious and press that drive select button and go in efficiency, you will see 40 miles a gallon. I've done it, 40 miles per gallon, 65, 70 on a motorway, and I believe it was about a 2.5 hour journey. 14 miles per gallon is easily attainable, especially when it's wet, because you're not going to want to drive fast anyway. 2-litre is probably the sweet spot when it comes to power and efficiency. Let's not talk about BMW's 3-litre B58 because this is an Audi video. This is more than enough when it comes to efficiency and power. Now in the comfort setting, which I like to run it in day to day, you probably will see high 20s. Being brutally honest, unless you're cruising consistently, you won't see that 40 miles per gallon all the time. Probably 28, 32. That's where I've seen it anyway. And if I quickly just have a look now, short-term memory from today, I've been driving for about 2 hours, stopping for photos and whatnot. 60 miles covered, 32.9. And being honest with you, on any modern car, you're gonna have to get an exhaust mod, and it's a shame that it's quite expensive, not gonna lie, £4,000 for a back box. But again, in certain modes, it really does tell you about its worth. Now where this is an S model, you have Quattro as standard, which means you have 4-wheel drive. Rain, shine, put your foot down, it will grip and go. As mentioned, unless you have a driver mindset delete mod and you don't know how to drive a car, you really can't get this wrong. And what I love is when you do flick this little gear shifter into sports mode, it holds the shifts the right amount before shifting up, and you get that nice guaranteed noise. It's very unique to Audis. Golfs do it as well because it's the same sort of setup, but it's amazing. And when you get on the brakes, it does give you that nice blip downshift, and then you can just go again. And being brutally honest, I haven't really felt how well the diff works. You're probably going to notice that more on the track when you throw it into corners, but the Quattro system It's been around for ages. It works, and you probably will never find yourself in a pickle unless you've gone to Iceland and bought your tyres for like £20 each. Now, in terms of space and comfort up front, I did a total of 4 hours in the day driving to and from, I want to say this right, Worcester, and it was fine. It was very comfortable, it was very spacious, and with this being the Volkswagen spec, you also get this little sunroof here, which does help in making the cabin feel a bit more airy up front. And standing at 5'11", I did not expect to have this much space back here. It is a bit tight, but it is in no way uncomfortable, and headspace as well is good. Now, where things are not the greatest is just back here. As you can see, it's not the world's biggest boot. Imagine a pram with your monthly shop, it could get a bit tight, but it is a hatchback and it is workable. And in comfort mode, where you're probably going to drive it in day to day, the suspension is really smooth, not bumpy, bearing in mind it's an S model, so fair play. And in the looks department, we cannot deny that Audi makes some very good looking cars. But if I'm being brutally honest with you, I prefer the previous generation's front end. This grille just ending here and the bumper just having the red bit here doesn't really do it for me. I drove past one on the way here this morning and I much prefer the front end of the previous gen. But where they make up for it is giving you 4 different light designs to change from. This is quite cool. So in terms of this spec, does it do it for me, being brutally honest? No. The colour is okay, but where these brake lights are, of course, very red at the rear, you can see it kind of gets lost, and they're very pretty. So I would go for this colour instead, this spec that I'm showing you here, with those maybe the same wheels, because the 19s aren't too bad. They obviously need Yokohamas, but that aside, it's a pretty little car in the right spec. Now, in terms of its rivals, there are not that many, but there are cars that fit in the same sort of bracket in terms of what it does and what people would use it for. And this, the Volkswagen spec, with this exhaust and this paintwork, totals up at £58,000. 58. Putting it this way, a Civic Type R, again, all brand new, you're looking at 50 grand. Again, it's an Audi, so expect a bit of money. A35, you're expecting around £47,000. And a Golf R is 48. So you know that an Audi badge will always bring a premium, but is it really worth it over those other cars? And is the price right? I don't really talk about price, but would you choose this over those cars? Because price is all subjective to what you earn. If it's 58 grand for some people, that's ouch. For some people, that's look under the sofa, you get 58 grand for me. I'm off to Audi to buy the S3 Sportback. And if you are interested in a Golf R or a Type R, I've previously driven them on the channel, so I'm going to leave links to those videos in the description. And while you're there, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, like it if you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see all of your beautiful faces in the next one. Take care and God bless. And I'm going to press drive select and go back into dynamic and listen to the Accra. Woohoo! What a car!